Okay, this is Vestry Sunday, and so I'm going to give my report, which is a kind of charge, and it's, I'm just going to start it. Okay. First, I'm going to talk about worship and liturgy here at Epiphany. There's a saying among people who create liturgy, the space always wins. This is especially true at Epiphany. Our space is beautiful. We're surrounded by open glass, allowing us to see the changing seasons. Our altar, our font, and pulpit are at the center of our worship space, showing the importance of the Holy Eucharist, our baptismal covenant, and hearing the Word of God. We see one another in our worship, and as we listen and sing and pray together. This is a unique space. It is open and modern, and so we too are called to unique, open, and modern worship. As a priest in this parish, I share in worship leadership with many people. Our choir, led by Chun Sun Park, our new worship chair, Jerry Green, Sharon Sega, and all her dedicated altar guild. Cindy Boyd, our parish administrator, works tirelessly on weekly bulletins and coordinating all of our volunteers. I have to thank Stephanie Boyd, who orbits like a liturgical football safety, making sure that everything is going smoothly. And we have an enormous group of readers, prayer leaders, sides people, communion assistants, servers, service folder stuffers. That one's new. The list is huge. The hangings magically change every season, right? Somebody does that. Dwayne Van Alstyne changes the hymn numbers every week. Rose Dennis does an incredible job with our flowers. There's so many little details. Anne Crossley knitted the most beautiful little circles. They're little white circles about that big. They're knitted with yarn, and they're meant to go on top of the communion host so that the new bread that we use doesn't discolor the white pall that sits on top. It's fantastic. There are so many things that happen by so many people to make any service on Sunday happen. And so a special thank you to all of you for all of the work that you do to help us worship on Sunday morning. Moving into 2015, we're going to continue to offer our unique combination of ancient and modern worship, and I'm thrilled to welcome our new server model. We're calling it Servers 2.0 to the parish. It's finally happened, so a special thank you to Derek as a part of that. He received special training from Jerry, and of course anybody is welcome to volunteer to carry the torches to and from our space. It's part of the benefits of worshiping in the round as we do, that you can come into the middle and leave, and we can do it in an elegant manner. I hope that everybody is going to consider sharing in that. Our intergenerational services are going to continue to grow and change. We have new additions to these services in the future. Our church hack was an innovation that came out of our outreach committee, and we might have another one at some time this year. We have our 2 outdoor services that are planned in June and October. Many exciting services have happened. No matter what Sunday you attend at Epiphany, something interesting seems to happen. And I'm thrilled to be a part of our ancient and modern parish worship experience. Next, education. This is a community that has embraced Christian education. And this past year, we concluded our 2nd Yale course on Tuesday nights covering the New Testament. And we're continuing this tradition by exploring the early modern English history, allowing us an opportunity to learn about the time and place that gave birth to the Anglican tradition. It's been interesting to learn not just about the origins of our church, but the many ways that this is a course about the origins of our modern society. In the fall, we're going to begin a 4th course on the Old Testament. This series has been incredibly fun and rewarding. There's a lot of delicious soup and bread and cheese. And thank you to everybody who participates in that and makes it such a wonderful Tuesday night. We've continued our reflection groups on Wednesday mornings and evenings. The morning discussion group has wide-ranging discussions on religion and morality. The basic questions of human life come up on a regular basis. And our evening reflection group has just started reading the Bible. We started reading Genesis, I think, in the spring, and we've now almost finished the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and we actually went through them. which was, it's been a remarkable challenge and really enjoyable, and it's a huge privilege to be a member of both of those groups. So starting on Tuesday nights in May, we're going to begin something brand new. It's a course called Transitions. It was designed in part this summer by me with the help of Judy Steers, and she pulled a team together because we were both hoping that this might be a model that other churches will use. Judy Steers was the brains behind the Ask and Imagine program, which is a great program. Transitions is a course for people who are in transition, particularly significant life transitions that have been anticipated with hopefulness. So, for example, the beginning and ending of a post-secondary education, or, on the other hand, the beginning and end of a career path, where our identity, purpose, and primary occupation change in a meaningful way. This course will facilitate preparation for confirmation, but anybody is welcome to join our course if you feel that you are in a similar transition. So these are specifically career transitions rather than life transitions, which can be, there's a wide variety. We are going to draw on all the core aspects of a Christian faith, drawing on the Old and New Testaments, theology, morality, ethics, but each week we'll approach those questions we are thinking about saying when we were thinking about saying farewell to our school friendships or our work colleagues. So here are some of the questions that we might be asking in this course. What are the gifts of this transition? Who is coming with me? What will be taken from me? What must I embrace? What must I let go of? What am I afraid of? I wonder how I'll change. So these are some of the questions that will provide the framework for each week. It's going to be about 8 weeks. And afterwards, whoever takes the course can be prepared for confirmation, but also to be received in the Anglican Church, if you haven't done that, or even adult baptism. So that's a really exciting course that will be starting, I believe, the first Tuesday in May. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in, or if you know somebody that might be interested in that. Children and youth ministry. I have to first begin offering my thanks to Deb Suddard, who offered her experience and passion to our Sunday school program these last few years. And my thanks to Diane Jago and Heather Langille and Mark Masson and Kelly Jessup, who offered a tremendous amount of their time and energy this fall as they took on the Sunday school responsibilities. This is a time of transition and change for our children and youth ministry. We have learned so much about how children learn, and our church needs to embrace that knowledge. So starting next week, with the help of over a dozen skilled volunteers at different times, we are going to begin a brand new Sunday school curriculum. Each child who enters our doors will have a choice of 4 forms of exploring God's Word. First, every child will be welcome to stay in and worship with us. That's the first choice. To be honest, when I was a child, that might have been my first choice. And I was dragged off to Sunday school. The second option is we're going to continue doing what we have always done, and to a degree, in the Sunday school room. And there will be a lesson with an activity. It could be a craft. The only real difference is that any age is welcome to participate, and some of our older kids might help the younger kids. There might be a more advanced activity or a more advanced lesson in that room as well. The third option that's going to be available is new, and it is going to be an outdoor activity. So all of these things are now going to start at 10:30. The kids are not going to come with us at the beginning of the service and leave after the collect. They're going to start at 10:30. Some kids might leave their snow pants on. And there is a brave and select group of parishioners who are adults who will lead our kids in cooperative games. This is not going to be sports, like running a soccer game outside. There are a lot of extraordinary cooperative games that have been developed by Christian educators all over the world. And I participated in some of those at the Ask and Imagine program. And they're wonderful ways for especially children that have a lot of energy or who are very tactile learners to learn about themselves, to learn about God, to learn about our community. So we're really hoping to teach and show children that you can be a Christian and be quiet and thoughtful, and you can be a Christian and be active and energetic. No matter what kind of person you are or learning style you have, there should be a place for you in God's church. So that's what we want to do. So that's option 3. And option 4 is a discussion group that'll happen in my office. And there might be a video. Some of our older kids might be interested in that. And we have a long list, again, of volunteers that want to lead discussions. Sometimes people have volunteered to just do one Sunday over the next 3 months. And they're going to prepare maybe a discussion, maybe there's a video component, and they're going to talk about something really interesting about what's going on in the church. And then, of course, no matter what's happening, we're all going to meet together to celebrate the Eucharist together. So that's the new Sunday school curriculum. I'm really excited about it. There's so many people that have offered to help, and so the burden is taken off of some of our individual parishioners who have given an enormous amount of their time and energy. So a special thank you to Diane and Heather and Kelly and Mark for their tremendous time commitment this fall. All right, communications. You have a great communications team. We have our website, we have our podcast, we have a very dynamic presence online. As you well know at this point, the website has become the new back pew. We don't even really have a back pew. But people will check us out first online and get directions, see what they're like. They might even listen to one of my sermons to see if I'm crazy or not. And they do all that before they come now. So it's very important that we have a dynamic web presence. Something new this year is we are offering something or using something called MailChimp. You might have started to receive emails every once in a while, and you should find them kind of colorful and attractive. And there's a very helpful button at the bottom that says opt out, which you can do. So we can't spam you even if we wanted to. This has been really useful for us to get things out. We can even schedule emails in advance, so we can actually sit down. I can sit down on, say, a Thursday and plan for 7 a.m. Friday morning and 7 a.m. Saturday morning for you all to receive email notices. You might have gotten something on midnight of Christmas Day. And that was an email that I prepared earlier that week, and so we could all celebrate Christmas morning at the same time, in a way. So that's been a really fun resource for us and very useful. So if you're not receiving these emails and you want to, please let Cindy know. And there's a separate email list that we're using for a good food market. And we've had some people that are attending our markets, and I think already it started to work, and we heard some people that came to the market because they got an email reminder the day before. And that's an easy way for us all to do that without them having to be on our parish list. That's been really great. I also must mention in the communications section, and most of you should know by now, but Stephanie is now, at the beginning of April, I think, going to be beginning work as our diocesan communications officer. So, where is Stephanie? I think she's gone out. No, right there. So it's enormously exciting for us, to be honest, as a parish, because there are simple things that the diocese does not have access to, being in a way in the 1990s still. The bishop, for example, or nobody in the diocese has access to all the emails in the diocese. So sometimes there's a pastoral crisis, for example, where it might be great to have an email from the bishop, just a letter or something, a thought. We don't have access to that. There's ways that we can connect as a parish that using the internet, and we don't have access to that either. There's ways that we should all be connecting, and we're so good as a parish, and Stephanie's going to enable our entire diocese to knit ourselves together much more completely and fruitfully. So I'm so excited for you, Stephanie, and for all of us for the work that she's going to begin, starting Holy Week, I think, which is a dramatic time to start, but apparently things are slow at diocesan headquarters as all the clergy are losing their minds. Okay, building and maintenance. Our building continues to exist in a place that resembles Superman's fortress of solitude for half of the year, Ottawa, Ontario. Our building maintenance, I thought that was hilarious when I wrote it. It's ice. The Fortress of Solitude is an ice structure. This is why I don't read all these things. Okay, I have to thank, before I start, Dwayne and Mike and Joss and Melvin, who all do an incredible job doing all kinds of things to keep our building, really, I think, one of the best maintained churches in the diocese. There's some really exciting things that are happening. I think there's some things that you don't notice that are happening, like each time a light bulb is changed, it's a more efficient version. But we're also starting, I think you've noticed during the week, that we're starting to rent out spaces all around the outside of a parking lot. We're renting 40 spaces every month, and they're paying us money. And that's awesome. And so we're doing a few exciting things with that money. And the first thing that I'll mention that we're doing with it is we're going to start building a maintenance fund. And for as long as they're parking here and renting parking, we'll allow that fund to continue to build. We have been given a responsibility when we constructed this building to keep it alive and well-maintained for not just the next 10 years, but 50 years from now, even 100 years from now. And whatever church building exists in this place in 100 years, if it's this building, almost everything will have been replaced. Right? The roof, the HVAC system, everything will have been repainted, all new lighting, who knows? Everything's going to be replaced. And the diocese is not going to just give us that money. So we have to start now, saving up a small amount every year to have that fund for those things to occur, so we can continue to worship here and be good stewards of the land and the gifts that God has given us. So we're building a maintenance fund, and that's what it's going to be for. And I think it's a good stewardship of that resource. There's other things we're going to do with that money, but that's part of it, and I think it's going to be really exciting. Next, I'm just not reading anything that I've written, but that's basically what I wrote. Stewardship. A special thank you to James Menard for continuing to be our stewardship chair for another year, and Greg for his incredible work that he does as a treasurer. And I also have to give thanks to every one of you who have contributed not just your time and your prayers and your love, but the money that you earn as well to keep this building open, to keep ministry happening, to keep everything going on in this place, the music being made, everything. Thank you so much for all of your time and the energy and money that you've given to keep this place going the way it is. Stewardship is incredibly important. And also, I think Diane might be out with the kids, but thank you to her for organizing some great events this past year. And she's so excited about new events. We did bowling a few weeks ago, and it was truly hilarious. I don't think it was a stewardship event. It was just a fellowship event, but it was really wonderful. And special thanks to her. Choir and music here is excellent. Thank you so much to Chunsun for her tireless leadership in everything that she does to make this place profound. And thank you to our choir for all of the work that you do every single Wednesday. It's remarkable the things that happen in this place. And also, and we have to give special thanks to some of our new musical talent. Janet, who's offered her voice, and Steve is always there to play his guitar. Heather and Katie and Natasha, they choreographed that fantastic event last week, that dancing number, which is fantastic. I think there should be more dancing in church. And thank you to Sandy, who is able to always step in. And this year there was a last minute. I think Sandy was Saturday night, or maybe even Sunday morning, you were available, and that was a huge gift. Thank you for that. So there's just amazing things that are happening in our parish musically, and I love music, as you know, and it's really exciting to be in this place. And you were so courageous, both keeping in the traditional music alive, but some very contemporary tunes that this parish loves, and it's wonderful. Next, Pastoral Care. You have a wonderful Pastoral Care team made of Lori and Dan Elmos, Wendy Green, and me. The three of them work incredibly hard behind the scenes to make sure that everybody who is not with us due to illness or shut-ins, they receive care, they receive spiritual friendship, and they let me know what's going on, and so I can bring communion to them. I also have to thank Cindy, who also does a phenomenal job at alerting me. She seems to know things almost as they are happening. That said, I will take this time to say that if you are normally here and you go on vacation for a long time, please let us know that you're going on vacation for a long time. Because sometimes we think, maybe, are they alive? Has something horrible happened? And conversely, if you are in the hospital, we might think you are in a tropical island paradise. Sometimes we are very good at figuring out all of these things, and to be honest, sometimes we're not. And I'll find out from someone, I've been in the hospital for the last 2 weeks. And me and the Pastoral Care team would say, well, that would have been really great for us to know, because we could have stopped by. I mean, I have no curative powers as far as I know, but it's just a thing that I do like to come by, and I do think that praying with all of you and sharing the Eucharist, especially in a place like a hospital, is important and can be transformative. So please let me know, or please let us know. Just take a few seconds to let us know if you're in the hospital, and we'll do something. That's all you really have to do, and we'll do our best to come out and see you. And I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Other things as far as outreach, I have to thank Christine Caron and Mark Jessup for their leadership in the past year of our outreach committee. Both of them are tireless advocates for people that are in need in our community and throughout the world. So thank you to both of them. They both are stepping down from the outreach chair leadership. And Don Leake has agreed to take on those responsibilities. So thank you, Don, for taking that on. The Outreach Committee has a budget that has actually increased this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this budget this year, and sort of works to support all the ministry that we are all called to do. And also on that matter, I also want to thank Kelly and Christine for your incredible leadership with the Good Food Market. The Good Food Market is amazing. So many of you volunteer your time and energy and sometimes funds to make this Good Food Market run. And it is growing. It is growing in really cool and exciting ways. It's changing as well. There was a large provincial grant that is no longer there. So the Good Food Market people, to be honest, are now looking to Kelly for leadership to a degree in the Good Food Market. Kelly's not happy that I'm saying that, but but they're blown away. They're blown away because we have this massive volunteer base, and we have a group of people that are passionate about caring for others. And a lot of the markets had small stipends to pay people to help. And we have this giant group of people that are willing to help. And they're blown away by the energy and the care that we have shown. I think we might be the first of many churches that they might approach to shepherd good food markets all around the city. And then our coffee fellow, who is out in Vars, and he has this coffee that he gets from farmers. He's been moved by what we're doing, and so now he's giving us numbers for farmers that want to give us land to plant seeds so that we can grow food, and they're going to take care of it so that we can feed people. And it's like, oh my goodness, what has happened? And it's so wonderful that we can leave so much of this in Kelly's hands, and she seems to shepherd this so skillfully and with a profound spiritual care as well. So thank you so much to Kelly and to all of you, because so many of you help with that market. But it is growing into a giant benevolent monster. Okay, as far as administration and our corporation, first I have to thank our incredible parish administrator, Cindy, who does an enormous amount of things. She remembers all of you. She cares for all of you in what she does, and it's not just work; it is a ministry. So thank you so much to Cindy. I don't know where Cindy went, but there you are. I'm looking right at you. That was weird. Thank you so much, Cindy, for everything that you are doing. It's really neat for me to see the work that she does on a daily basis. And this year marks a change in our corporation. So I have to thank Jerry Green and Stephanie Boyd, who were both wardens here when I arrived. I think you're both on the search committee as well. And they're finally stepping down from their warden posts. They're not going very far because Jerry's agreed to take on the worship chair responsibilities, and Stephanie has agreed to continue as parish communicator, which is becoming a lot of work, actually. But we have 2 new warden spots. So thank you to Lawrence for agreeing to become the official rector's warden of our parish, which is a transformation that will occur in about an hour. And thank you to Roxanne. Roxanne, who's agreed to take on deputy rector's warden, which is really fantastic. So thank you so much for agreeing to do that. I have less power over what happens with the people's wardens. Stephanie has stepped down, and I don't think I can say anything about what's going to happen with people's warden stuff, but Patience has agreed to stay, and thank you so much for giving us another year of your care as well, and Patience has been wonderful as deputy people's warden. So this will be interesting. You can feel that you are in good hands with your parish administration and corporation. And finally, I want to thank all of you for giving us your time, giving us your prayer, your energy. You have sung with us. Some of you have danced. You have offered honesty and care to other people. You have made coffee. You have baked cookies. I think for each one of you has shown up, perhaps some days exhausted. I think sometimes you've given us your time when you'd rather not. And you are somehow here. Perhaps you're thinking that right now. What am I doing here? But I think each one of you has also reached and touched people in ways that we will never know. You might have just casually given someone a hug or lent them their ear, and for all we know, that was the only kind word they may have heard all week. We don't know the kinds of things that we do in this community and the impact that we have, but I want to thank you all for your commitment of time and energy and prayer to this place and to God. Thank you all. Amen.